What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now this week, we have got a lot to unpack. I'm going to try to get through it as best I can. We may have to talk about a couple other things, some of this next week. We've all seen the news where basically the Star Wars girl in Canada gets, arrested by the Canadian police for wearing a stormtrooper costume, and then having the people calling on her because she was carrying a fake blaster or gun or whatever, a toy gun, which was ridiculous, the whole thing. If you've seen the video, which is all over YouTube, the only thing that really I didn't care for what they did to her. I mean, it wasn't right. But what really got me was the guy filming it, and then he turned around and says, "This is all Trump's fault." Like, how is it Trump's fault? You're in Canada. Are these people this stupid? The ones that are on far left are just, you can't make this shit up. They're just stupid. They're dumb. Trump had nothing to do with it. It was the Canadians. I mean, you're in Canada. It's the Canadian police. Duh. How's Trump have anything to do with it? Why don't you check your own damn president, you dumbass moron? Anyways, the other thing I saw that was crazy was it's all over YouTube. Is Adele losing weight, and then fucking you got these fat lazy bastard people who are extremely unhealthy and think it's okay to promote being fat, and that it's great to be fat and lazy and shit. These people are stupid. It's extremely unhealthy to be overweight. And the fact that she lost weight and now they're chewing her ass out for doing it, it's just ridiculous. She's trying to look better and be more healthy, which she does. She looks a lot healthier. She looks great. So shaming her for losing weight is just ridiculous. These people are crazy. Just the body shaming people. Stop your dumbass shit. Seriously. Okay. That's pretty much all I saw that's really big in the news, except for the whole CBS cover-up with the Cherry Health thing or whatever. More fake news, but we all knew that. The media is just, you can't trust mainstream media. CBS, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, you can't trust any of those because they lie constantly. Okay. Alright, we got a lot to unpack here, so let's get to it. I saw some rumors that we're getting ready to get a new Mortal Kombat movie. Kind of like a reboot, but not really. Now, if they don't go back and if they don't tell the original story and how it started and blah blah blah, then this movie's gonna suck. I'm sorry, but it will. They're already talking about introducing characters into the movie that aren't even supposed to be in the Mortal Kombat universe until way later in the story or the games or whatever. They're wanting to introduce Natario or whatever her name is, the vampire chick, which she doesn't show up till, what is it, Deception, Mortal Kombat Deception or whatever it is. That's way far into the timeline, and they're not going to have Johnny Cage in it, which don't make any sense. Most of the actors I wouldn't have in this movie because most of them don't fit the parts at all. You have one character that or actor that I believe they chose to play Scorpion. He fits the part, but everybody else don't. So I'm not really sure if I want a new Mortal Kombat movie too, but not if it's going to be stupid. And this looks like it's going to be stupid. So, anyways, it's just rumors. We'll see what happens. The next thing I saw was the whole Pirates of the Caribbean thing. Now, a while back, they were meshing up the thought process of doing an all-female cast for the Pirates of the Caribbean, like a reboot. It never got made. However, now it's being brought back up. Now, the reason why it never got made is because they were talking about bringing Johnny Depp back after the whole Amber Heard BS story that she presented. There's rumors going around that he is coming back to do another movie, but they're also going to do a spin-off movie where it's all female pirates. Or an all-female cast. Which is to bring back Barbossa's daughter as the head pirate or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if all that's going to happen or not, but you would think if you want money, you should bring back Johnny Depp. Plain and simple. Nobody's going to be interested in it if it's not got Johnny Depp in it. Second, all-female pirate movie, it's just not going to work. I'm sorry. Look at the statistics. You've had Ghostbusters, Terminator, Oceans. I could spout off several others. Charlie's Angels. All-female cast, and they just keep flopping one after the other. Why? Because it's this feminist agenda, woke agenda, and it doesn't work. Nobody's interested in that BS. In fact, women are getting sick and tired of it. Just as much as the men are. So if they do it, it's going to flop. It's not going to make them any money, and they're retarded for doing it. But that's Disney for you. They're dumb. I've also heard rumors that they're making a Demolition Man 2. Sylvester Stallone has come out and said something about them getting pre-production started or whatever on it. And he's supposed to I like Sylvester Stallone, but seriously, dude, you're like 80 years old now. I mean, you're getting a little too old to be doing these action flicks. So I don't know how they're going to do that if he reprises his role. But that's all I've heard about that. I also know that they're going to do a reboot of the Resident Evil movies. Apparently, after the success of Resident Evil 7, they've decided to go back and redo the Resident Evil movies. And this time it's not going to have, you know, Alice and all that, you know, horse-wasty crap, because the Resident Evil movies, although they are pretty cool action flicks, they're really cheesy, and on top of that, it really doesn't follow the storyline, to be honest, with, you know, with the games. So I think they're going back and they're going to do the whole Haunted Mansion, and they're going to have Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield in it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping that's what happens with the reboot. We'll see. And we'll get the actual story. But it is Hollywood, and you know how Hollywood is. They like to retell everything and screw up original stories. So, we'll see. I also heard a rumor that they're also going to try a new type of Star Trek series. Since Picard bombed and, you know, STDs pretty much should have been canceled after the first season, because it just gets worse and worse. They're going to come out with the Star Trek Pike to do something about, you know, Captain Pike, a series based around his character. I don't know if that's going to happen. That's just the rumors going around that they're thinking about doing that. Just don't use Alex Kurtzman anymore, please. Get rid of that dude, because he sucks. He destroys everything. Okay, that's pretty much all I had for you. You know, I told you it was a lot to unpack. Let me know what you think about some of these. And let's get on to your B-movie review. Alright, movie holics, let's get on to your B-movie reviews. We're back to Horror Week. So we're doing a couple of horror flicks this round. Normally I don't go in depth in a more recent movie. I usually just do a brief one on it, something that's recent. So I don't normally do, you know, reviews on or in-depth reviews on fairly recent movies, but I had to do it on this one just because I've been hearing a lot about it, and a lot of people have been mentioning it, and I just figured, why not just go ahead and do it. I mostly don't do in-depth reviews on recent movies just because everything after 2008 has been trash. Hollywood just went extreme left when Obama, our worst president ever, got elected, and it's just, they've gotten worse and worse over the years doing stupid shit, and that's just come the norm of Hollywood. It's like they don't want to make money anymore. It's just gotten pathetic. But anyways, so this is going to be very rare. This is a movie that was done 2016. It made about 92 million worldwide, which isn't a whole lot actually considered to today's standard. It only made about 2 million here in the US. It was done in Korea. I'm not a big fan of foreign films. The cultures are different, so they think and view things a little bit differently than we do over here. And I usually just can't get into foreign films because of it. Very rarely do I like a foreign film. This movie is called Train to Busan. It's a zombie flick, and I saw that they were making a sequel to it, so I figured, okay, I'll go ahead and get around to watching it. Go ahead and do it and get it over with. It stars a guy named Yu Gong, and the female lead in it is, her name is Yu Mai Jung. Yu Gong is this dad. He's kind of like a businessman. He's a stockbroker or something, and they go out of their way to mention that he's affiliated with some type of chemical company, which later you find out is the reason it started the spread of the virus. Anyways, his daughter, I don't know if his wife and him are divorced or separated or whatever, but his daughter wants to go see her mother, which is in Busan. Her mother's in Busan. Apparently the father has custody of the daughter. He's one of those jerks that he's a workaholic, so he don't spend a lot of time with his kid. He always tries to get out of having to do things with him. Something to do with work. Anyways, she whines and moans and complains until he finally gives in, decides to take her to Busan on this train. On the train, the people are already starting to get infected by the time they get on the train. One girl makes it on the train who's bloodied from head to toe, but the train service guy lets her in the door and doesn't think anything of it. The news pops on and tells them that there's a contagious virus going around. It's causing all sorts of problems, a big pandemic there in Korea. The girl that made it onto the train that was infected basically infects a whole bunch of passengers, and people start killing, zombies start killing people and turn into zombies. They flood, or they run from the train cars that are becoming infected, and they make it to a section where they close off the train car to prevent other infected from getting through. They meet a woman who's pregnant, which is Yu Mai Jung, and her husband, and a kid on a baseball team, and his girlfriend or whatever. They're part of it. Anyways, they get to another station. They try to get off there because they don't think they're going to make it to Busan. And this one has military, which is supposed to be a safe zone. Well, come to find out, the military is infected, and they have a big old scene where they're trying to run away from the military, infected military personnel, which basically starts killing a bunch of them. Out of the few that survive, they make it back onto the train. The wife and the daughter and some homeless guy, and I think it was the sister. There's an older couple, two sisters. One of them's in the train, or the bathroom in between these cars that are full of zombies. The teenage baseball guy, the dad, and the husband, they're in the very back train. They decide to work their way through the trains to save them that are in the bathroom. And what they do, and they get them to another section of the train where most of the people that aren't infected are in this car. There's one guy in there, you know, he's all about saving his own ass. He don't care about anybody else. Tells everybody else they may be infected, we shouldn't let them in. And the people listen to him, but it doesn't work. They break in, they bust in. And then people pretty much start getting infected again. They get off the train at Busan, but everything's pretty much blown to hell. All the trains are fucked up and shit, and full of zombies. They try to make their way to another train. The guy who runs the train, he finds another train to just the caboose, the engine. He finds another engine to a train and starts to take off on it, tells everybody else when he left the other train, anybody that left alive, you know, that this is the train I'm taking, to the far left. Try to make it on over there if you can. Well, most of them all die. The father jumps off at the end because he ends up getting infected by the asshole, which he kicks off anyway. The train conductor, he gets infected. He gets off the train. So all that's left is the pregnant lady and the little girl. And of course they make it toward another military outpost, and that's the end of the movie. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 5, the acting in this was a 2. The only one I really liked was the husband of the pregnant lady. He was actually kind of cool. The rest of them all sucked. Most of them couldn't act. The bad guy, the asshole, he could act a little bit. I've seen him somewhere before. He's not that bad, but the rest of them, they all sucked. I didn't like any of them as actors. The little girl, oh my gosh, she was literally whining and complaining the entire movie. I wanted to take her and throw her off the train or feed her to the zombies. God, I couldn't stand that little bitch. Oh my gosh, she wouldn't shut up. Anyways, and the dad the guy who plays the dad was doing all this overacting. It's just ridiculous. Like I said, the husband to, which the pregnant lady, she was okay, but the husband, that actor, he's actually pretty good. I liked him. He's funny too. He made the movie. The rest of them sucked. So yeah, acting gets a 2. Because it wasn't really good. The whole zombie thing, they've tried to do spins off of it on over and over. The zombies were pretty fake looking. I give them a 3 as far as visual effects and crap like that. It gets a 3. It wasn't all that great. I mean, some of it was okay, but a lot of it looked pretty cheesy. And as far as the overall story in the movie, you know, I give it a 3. It wasn't really that good of a story. It wasn't really that good of a movie. I probably won't watch the sequel to this, to be honest. It just didn't do it for me. All the whining and everything in the movie is just I don't know. It wasn't a good movie. I don't know why people hyped this movie up so bad. It was terrible. It really wasn't all that great. I give the movie a 3. And you know, it was okay for a one-time watch, but honestly, I wish I had got my 2 hours back because it really wasn't that good. Okay, moving on. The next horror flick I watched was done in 1979, and it's called The Tourist Trap. I haven't seen no box office on this one. I actually got this off a list on YouTube that mentioned a bunch of horror flicks that people might not have seen before. And there were just a few of them on there that on the list that I had never seen. Most of them I'd seen before. There's just like 3 or 4 of them. This was one of them. I'd never heard of this. It was done in 1979, like I said. And it starred Chuck Connors and Jocelyn Jones. The story basically is some teenagers, their car breaks down. Well, actually both cars. They had 2 of them. But they both basically break down near this tourist trap, which was basically, you know, like a sideshow or whatever, museums kind of crap, you know. Used to get tourists to stop off the road and go in there and look at stuff or whatever. They'd usually have like a little gas station or a little cafe as well. Anyways, at the beginning it shows this guy. He wants to change the tire out he's got a flat or something on his car. So he goes to change the tire. He runs into this old gas station and nobody's in it. You could tell the place it wasn't running anymore. Anyways, he goes up in there and you just see a bunch of crap fly at him and kill him or whatever. And then you get the sense that somebody's dragging him off. The rest of the movie, these teenagers, they stop off at this place. It looks like an old museum or whatever. Well, not a museum, but just outside the museum. It's like a little pond with a waterfall or some crap that they go swimming in. The old man, Chuck Connors, he shows up and he starts talking to him. This was kind of awkward because they're all naked in this water pool except for the guy. He's working on the Jeep. And he's just talking to him, chatting with him as they're naked in the pool and they're chatting back with him. It was just weird. Anyways, he catches up to the guy and they finally get out of the water, come up to the guy. He tells him to come over and stay at his place until they can find the parts and get the Jeep fixed. So they all go over there and it's like an old tourist museum. Well, he claims he's taken off with the young guy to go get parts for the Jeep. But he comes back, the old man comes back, but the young guy doesn't. He says he let him borrow his truck to go get the rest of the parts because they couldn't figure out what's wrong with the Jeep. So anyways, the guy starts mentioning about he has like a brother or something, you know. He lives in this house just below the museum or whatever. But eventually what happens is he eventually starts killing them off one by one. He has this ability of telekinesis, and he makes the wax dummies or mannequins. They were mannequins. He makes mannequins that he has. He has a bunch of them too. Do all kinds of weird stuff. It's kind of weird, but he's kind of mental. He's really lost it. Anyways, he thinks all the mannequins are alive and shit. It's just weird. But yeah, he basically kills everybody off except for this one chick. She actually ends up killing him and then takes off supposedly with her friends at the end of the movie, but all her friends are mannequins. So it was really kind of weird, like she was actually the one that's mental. It was strange. It was weird. It wasn't the greatest of acting. It was alright. I give it a 3. Chuck Connors is not a bad actor, but the rest of the game was kind of so I gave it a 3. It wasn't horrible. It was decent as far as acting goes. There wasn't really a whole lot to do with special effects or anything, so I give it a 4, just for visuals. You know, just because it didn't take a whole lot to make things move around and blah blah blah, and make mannequins. It was kind of creepy and weird, so I'll give it a 4 for the visual effects. As far as the overall story and everything, I give it a 5. Because the story was actually pretty good. I like the story. I just wish they would have done something a little bit different. But it was the story was unique.
Anything you say.
A guy with telekinesis is a psychopath, killing all these young people. You know, it was unique. I hadn't seen that before. So I mean, the stalker kind of thing, yeah, but this was quite like that. They actually thought it was the brother that was doing it, when it was him the whole time. So it's kind of strange, kind of weird, kind of creepy. Overall, a decent horror flick. Check it out if you're into horror flicks. You might like it. And that's all I have to say on our movie reviews this week. Let me hear your suggestions in the box or in the comments down below. If you have any suggestions on some gems I might have never seen or reviewed before, and I'll get around to reviewing them whenever I can. Let me know your thoughts on everything I said earlier at the beginning of this video. How you think about all that. That's all I have for you this week. I told you to be told the truth, and you've just been told.